今のマダラは負け犬だ。内派の本当の高みを手にするのは奴じゃない。あの男、マダラを超え、本当の高みへと近づくのはこの俺だ。サスケ！お前は俺にとっての新たな光だ！お前は俺のスペアだ！
Okay, pause right there. So we all know Itachi was not being serious here. But what if he was? What if he actually stole Sasuke's eyes? What if he was evil? And more importantly, what if he gained the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan? But before we get into it, I would greatly appreciate it if you could consider subscribing. It takes a lot to make these videos. Really appreciate it. But yeah, I'm trying to get to 500 subs as soon as possible, so any support helps. But yeah, help me grow my channel so I can finally drop out of stupid school and do YouTube full time. But yeah, anyway, let's get started. So the first most important thing that we need to start off by stating is that if Itachi took Sasuke's eyes, he technically shouldn't have gained the EMS. From what we know, you have to take someone else's Mangekyo, and at this point, Sasuke didn't have the Mangekyo. So it's really weird because Itachi acts like if he were to steal Sasuke's eyes, he would gain the EMS. So, I mean, let's just roll with it for the sake of the video. So before we go into how strong he would be with the EMS, we first have to establish how strong Itachi is without the EMS. Now, I hold Itachi in high regard, and although others do as well, I still think that there's a sort of subsection of the Naruto community who severely underrate him. You know, I still don't think people understand how insane it was for Itachi to have owned Orochimaru essentially his entire life. I mean, Orochimaru is stronger than all of the 5 Kage individually. We know this because even Hiruzen in old age was considered to be the strongest of the 5 Kage by Kabuto, and I mean obviously Orochimaru killed him, so that right there just puts Orochimaru above all the 5 Kage individually, or at the very least he's equal to them. And seeing how Itachi is exponentially stronger than Orochimaru, this just puts him above all of the 5 Kage, or just ninja who are on that 5 Kage level tier, like Jiraiya, Hanzo, Killer Bee. In terms of general ability and strength, they're all inferior to Itachi by honestly quite a humongous gap. But what is Itachi's ceiling? Now, I don't think it's crazy to state that a live Itachi could beat KCM1 Naruto. Now, I know stuff like this sounds weird because of how early of a character Itachi was and how late of a character KCM1 Naruto was, but it is true. In fact, we actually do see Edo Itachi fight Naruto for a bit, and I mean, Alive Itachi is not exponentially weaker than Edo Itachi, it's more of like a stamina thing. So remember when Edo Itachi was doing this with Naruto? Yes, I do think that Alive Itachi could do the same thing or do something somewhat similar. Obviously not be as powerful because then again the stamina, but still be relative to his performance against KCM1 Naruto. Now, I know this stuff sounds weird, right? Like it's the exact same thing with Pain. You know, like people think that Pain won't do well in the war. Like Pain and Itachi would do just fine versus early war characters like KCM1 Naruto. I'm not necessarily saying that they would win, but the idea that they just get power cliffed and characters like Naruto at this point just run circles around both of them just isn't true. Like the thing about both Pain and Itachi is that throughout the entirety of the series, you have to remember they are almost never at full power, or at the very least they're almost never going all out due to specific circumstances. So they never showcase their full abilities, so we need to remember that. But yeah, the way that they just both body Kage level ninja and like Sanin level ninja is just absurd. But yeah, just to sum up Itachi's strength really quickly, I think he's slightly weaker than KCM1 Naruto. I think if he is not first in the Akatsuki, he is the second strongest member behind Pain and ahead of Obito. And I think if Itachi were a Hokage, he'd be the third strongest, significantly behind Naruto and Hashirama, but ahead of Minato. Oh my freaking gosh, I know that's gonna piss people off. And if Itachi went to the 5 Kage summit in Sasuke's place, I think he would have killed literally every single Kage there with medium difficulty at best. I mean, assuming he fights the Kage one-on-one and he can somehow get his chakra back after every single fight. But yeah. So now that we have a general idea of how strong Itachi is, what would happen if he unlocked his EMS? Well, short version, I think he instantly surpasses KCM2 Naruto. He surpasses White Mask Obito. He surpasses Edo Minato. He, well, in my opinion, was already stronger than EMS Sasuke. Now, before we get into exactly why, let's go over like the biggest changes. So one of them is, of course, his terrible stamina. Now, for this video, I'm taking the strongest version of Itachi at his healthiest, and I'm giving him the EMS. So his sickness isn't too relevant to this topic, but the fatigue caused by the basement Gekyo is. But if Itachi had an EMS, this problem literally goes flying out the window. He could literally just spam Tosuka Blade and Yadamir, along with him just being stronger in general. Now, I'm not completely sure how strong the EMS makes your base stats, and the reason this is because there's literally only 2 people to ever gain the EMS, which is of course Sasuke and Madara, and we don't really know how much stronger Madara got when he got his EMS, and we don't really know how much stronger Sasuke got either when he got his EMS. Yes, his stamina issues were gone, but in terms of base stats like AP, speed, reaction time, it is very, very unclear how much stronger EMS Sasuke is to MS Sasuke. And this is because EMS Sasuke literally doesn't do anything throughout the war arc. At the very least, he doesn't do anything by himself. He barely does anything versus Kabuto, and versus Jubito, he doesn't really do much either without Naruto's help and without Naruto's chakra. Now, it is kind of implied that EMS Sasuke is as strong as KCM1 Naruto, and if this is true, it would mean that EMS Sasuke, or at the very least, the buff that EMS Sasuke got, catapulted him moderately ahead of the Sannin and all the Kage, rather than when he just had the MS. And yes, aside from Danzo, Mei, and maybe Gaara, I do not think that MS Sasuke was stronger than any of the 5 Kage. MS Sasuke would lose to the Raikage, he would lose to Jiraiya, he would lose to Orochimaru, he would lose to Onoki. In fact, all the damage that Sasuke did to the Raikage was just self-inflicted. The Raikage was just pissed off because he thought Sasuke killed B, but I mean, the Raikage was significantly more powerful than Sasuke at that point. But then again, with the EMS, he surpasses all these characters with a moderately sized gap. I wouldn't say he would stomp them, but he'd still be superior. Now, the reason this is so important to our topic is because we can apply how much Sasuke grew with the EMS to how much Itachi would grow with the EMS. Even with the base MS, I think that Itachi was vastly superior to the 5 Kage, I think he was vastly superior to the Sannin, and even EMS Sasuke in my opinion. So following this logic, EMS Sasuke and KCM1 Naruto would not even be in the same universe with EMS Itachi. And this is not accounting for his new abilities or anything of the sort. This is just accounting for the buff that his base stats would get. Like, we haven't even addressed the biggest question. What if he unlocks his perfect Susanoo? Oh my, yeah, he would body like 95% of the Naruto universe. The 5 Kage together, I don't even know if the 5 Kage together would stand a chance. You guys know what a chilling thought is? Tsukiyomi, like, could he now just spam it on multiple people? Oh my god, yeah, he would be so broken with the EMS. Because we do know that your MS abilities do get better with the EMS. But there still are some questions, like, would the Tosuka Blade and Yadamir get bigger? I mean, assuming it does, I'm going to be completely honest with you, I don't think that KCM Minato could beat him. I don't think that KCM2 Naruto could beat him either. I don't know if he'd be as strong as Jubito. I mean, probably not, but I do think it is a cool discussion to have. But yeah, I mean, as for Naruto and Minato, I think that his perfect Susanoo would invalidate their Nine-Tails avatars. I haven't even mentioned Amaterasu or Tsukiyomi. And the interesting thing about Tsukiyomi that a lot of people don't really know is that even if you break out of it, it doesn't change the fact that Itachi can control time. And what I mean by this is that, say Itachi traps Minato or Naruto in a Genjutsu. Like, even if they break out of it, if they were trapped in like the Genjutsu for 3 seconds, that 3 seconds is like a million years. Virtually a million years in the world of Tsukiyomi. So it can still spell their death, even if they break out really quickly. But yeah, I don't think he'd be stronger than Madara or like Hashirama or any of those guys, but I do think he'd surpass like 95% of characters. But one interesting thing that I haven't talked about is how the hell would this affect the story of Naruto? Well, in our hypothetical situation, after Itachi kills Sasuke and steals his eyes, I mean, what would happen? I mean, in that moment, it would be GG's for the Naruto universe because no one at that time could stand a chance versus Itachi. So assuming that Itachi is actually evil and actually loyal to the Akatsuki, I mean, they would capture Naruto and B like very quickly, and Obito's plan for Infinite Tsukiyomi would be in full effect. Like, Obito wouldn't even need to declare war on the Naruto world. If anything, I think the 5 Great Nations would declare war on the Akatsuki at that point. Because after they capture all the Tailed Beasts, they would be like, what do we do? So assuming that a war still starts, everything that happened in the original series would happen in this hypothetical scenario, except there would be a few differences. 1, Naruto would be dead. 2, Killer Bee would be dead. Now Nagato would still be dead due to Naruto turning him into a good guy. So Obito would probably still be forced to team up with Kabuto to bring Madara back. So that would still happen. And if this happens, then I mean, like, the war is literally just over. I mean, there's no Naruto because after Naruto beats Pain, Obito would probably just send Itachi to the village and Itachi would just capture him. So that means during the war in the future, there would be no KCM2 Naruto. Of course, there would be no Killer Bee. I think the only hope for the alliance is for the previous Kage to be brought back. The issue is that this wouldn't be able to happen. The reason is that Orochimaru was the one who brought the Kage back, and the person who revived Orochimaru was Sasuke. And in this timeline, Sasuke is dead because Itachi is evil and killed him. So yeah, that Tail Beast Bomb that almost destroyed the Shinobi Alliance that Minato teleported away, yeah, that would have just killed everyone, and then the war would have ended. Now, honestly, I had a longer video prepared because, bro, there are so many timelines and so many things that could happen if Itachi was actually evil and stole Sasuke's eyes. But the video would be like literally an hour. So I want to leave it to you guys. You guys tell me in the comment section below, what do you guys think would happen? What timeline do you think? What timeline do you guys think is the most likely? But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching yet again. Let me know what you guys think about this topic, especially KCM Minato versus EMS Itachi, because I know for a fact that's going to be very controversial. Please consider subscribing and liking the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.